What's up everyone? On today's video, we're covering the top 5 reasons you should move from New York City into New Jersey. We're gonna cover a couple different topics like the cost of living, school systems, and a few others. Before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you might be the first one to know what's going on in either Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. Point number 1 is going to be the cost of living. So obviously living in New Jersey, I'm well aware that it is not the cheapest place by any means. Relatively speaking, if you compare it to 50%, maybe even 75% of the rest of the US, New Jersey probably is going to be more expensive. But when it comes to comparing it to New York City, we're actually on the cheaper side, believe it or not. So I'm gonna use Jersey City as comparison to NYC. The reason being is I think they're pretty similar in terms of like the lifestyles when you're just starting out specifically too. So maybe you're renting out a place with like 2, 3, 4 of your buddies, and then you all commute over into New York City for work. So if you wanted to maintain the same lifestyle as in Jersey City as you would in New York City, Jersey City you would need roughly about $7,700, where in NYC you would need close to $10,000. So it's a pretty big, it's a significant difference right there. It's a nice over $2,000. New York City basically comes in higher in almost every major expense that you're going to have. So restaurants, your grocery bill, utilities, rent, definitely a big one right there for a lot of people. So realistically, living in Jersey City is going to be cheaper than living in New York City, and this goes for a lot of other parts. So Jersey City also isn't the cheapest place to be living either. It's just cheaper than living in NYC. If you go a little farther south into New Jersey, because you don't mind the commute to work, you're gonna find even some cheaper options and better options too. Point number 2 is going to be the school system and education. As a realtor, I get this question all the time, especially when I'm working with young families. It typically goes, how are the schools? Are the school systems good? Are there public and private options? And you can ask that question, 10 other different ways. I also recommend that people without kids or ones that are planning on not having kids to still buy in a good school district. It might cost a little bit more in the taxes, but your resale value later on is going to be much better, and you're gonna have a bigger buyer pool that's gonna be willing to offer on your home. So how does New York and New Jersey rank up next to each other? Pretty much on every major list that I could find, New Jersey is going to be in the top 2 or 3 in the entire country. So pretty much better. Not only are they better than New York City, but they're also better than the majority, like 95% of the US. So New York usually ranks around like 15th on most of these lists, give or take. So again, not a bad school district by any means or a school system, but New Jersey is one of the top in the entire country. So would recommend moving to New Jersey for that reason. Point number 3 is going to be the difference in housing, and there's quite a few that I'd like to cover real fast. The first one being when you're living in New York City, you're more than likely going to experience vertical living. So that's going to be apartments, townhomes, condos, and some co-ops thrown in there. Now we do have that in New Jersey, not saying we don't, but you're also going to have a lot of single family homes with a yard involved. So you're maybe sitting on a 1/10 of an acre, quarter of an acre, an acre. It all depends basically on the town that you're going to be living in. On top of this, New York City is going to be also a lot more expensive. I'm just going to use the 2 counties that I typically have lived in my whole life so far, and it's going to be Monmouth and Ocean. So when it comes to this, New York City's average price, let's say median sales price, is going to be about $1.2 million. Monmouth County is going to be about $635,000, and then Ocean's going to be about $435,000. So for about half or a third of the cost of living in New York City, you can still commute all the way up there for work, but also get a little bit more of a quality of life, which we're going to check out in just a bit. But before we move on to our next point, please leave a like. It helps me get the video out to as many people as possible. And also comment down below if you're thinking about making the move from New York into New Jersey. Or if you've made the move already, leave another comment letting me know what you think about the pros and cons of doing so. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. With that though, let's get back to the content you came here for. Point number 4 is going to be the quality of life. So say goodbye to the hustle and bustle of living in New York City. New Jersey has a much more relaxed pace and feel to it. We have plenty of different parks that you can go to. Obviously, we're called the Garden State for a reason. Most people might only see that Newark area where the airport's at, and it's kind of gross, not gonna lie. But when you go a little farther south of there, there's ample amount of greenery all around. You can go hiking, fishing, play at any of the major golf courses in the area that are absolutely pristine. We have the entire Jersey Shore that I'm sure you know about from living up north. Over 100 million tourists come here every summer between Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend. If you're raising a family, there's nothing better than you have plenty of different recreational and travel sports for your kids growing up, gymnastics, dance recitals, pretty much everything that you could possibly imagine. On top of that, you're also going to have, like I said before, a bigger house, more space. And I know more space is definitely wanted because especially when COVID hit, a lot of people from up north or in New York in general came down into the Monmouth County area to try to snag up a home. So overall quality of life, much better. I might be a little biased, but I think it is. Last but not least, point number 5 is going to be the easy commute over from New Jersey to New York City for working. If this is the last major thing holding you back from wanting to move to New Jersey, hopefully I can help change your mind out real fast. There are 4 main ways that you can get from New Jersey to New York. The first one is just going to be good old-fashioned driving yourself. The next one's taking the train. That'll bring you into Penn Station. The bus will bring you into Port Authority, and there's so many different bus routes that go on in New Jersey. So I promise you could probably find one relatively close to pretty much any town they need to get to. And then last would be the ferry. The ferry is going to be a little dependent upon where you live. Obviously, you're going to have to be more around the shore where a boat can be. And on top of that too, whether you have to get to the west or the east side of New York City. Where I would personally cut off the commute time would probably be about that northern Ocean County area. So like Jackson, Toms River, Brick, Point Pleasant, somewhere in that range. You kind of start to get into that 2-hour point of the commute where your work day just went from 8 hours to 12 when you consider the commute back and forth. So for me personally, I feel like from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. would probably where I would want to like max out my time wise, at least for working purposes. But again, everyone's a little bit different, so to each their own. But those are all the main ways you can get from New Jersey to New York. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you learned a little bit more about what it's like to live in New Jersey versus living in New York. If you're looking to move to the Central Jersey area, all my contact information is down below in the comments or in the description. So whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year out, it doesn't matter to me. Let's just get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. And if you're looking to move to a different part of the Central Jersey area, maybe these 2 videos popping up here can help you out a little bit too. Have a great day.